Islam. I'm Moorish American Nation and Family Islam. I'm at Whole Foods, and today it is October 16, 2021. There was a lot of talking going on before I turned on the camera. Now both sides of people are quiet, so it's good. Maybe you can hear me. If you hear them talk, they're not including the video. Alright, and I say that because sometimes when I'm out, people say Burger King in Annapolis, Maryland. I'm at Whole Foods in Annapolis, Maryland. They say Burger King, the bird. I've heard them say military in the past in different times frames. As the Navy, the Army is here, and as Moorish Americans, we assume that the Navy, Army is naturalized. That means they have affirmed or taken an oath to uphold the U.S.A. Constitution of 1787. The 13th Amendment with 20 sections, and all four of Abraham Lincoln's proclamations, or the proclamations are actually proclamations, but the 13th Amendment with 20 sections, Section 19 says all men are free. So we as Moorish Americans, which you have to claim a nationality in order for the Constitution to apply to you. White is not considered a nationality. Black, Negro, African American, according to constitutional law, is not considered a nationality. Hispanic is not considered a nationality. So you have to claim a nationality in order for the organic instrument, the Constitution of 1787, to apply to you. So as Moorish Americans, for me, I have never been around the military forces like I am in Annapolis, and but because we were taught to respect them, because they supposed to be protectorate, not terrorists, not abusers, not rapists, not molesters, not involved in sex trafficking, money laundering, drug dealing, illegal organ selling. They are supposed to be protectorates of those who are citizens who are pursuing their actual freedom. Actual freedom is spoke of in Abraham Lincoln's proclamations, and not only that, they're supposed to be upholding the constitutional laws of freedom as well. So I say this because I'm about to go ahead and give a testimony of what I experienced today, and so today at Burger King, I'm Rhonda Arrington-Bey. You know, my nationality is Moorish American. I'll turn it this way. I was a customer. I was wiping down the counters, and the customer, a pale skin male, unless he claimed a nationality, that would be his description. He looked to be over 60, maybe 70 years old. I'm just gonna say over 60 years old. As I was wiping down the counters, the front line with a sanitizer towel, he asked me, can he have a bag? I said, sure. So I turned around and I said, Sherilyn, could you hand me a bag? But Phyllis she just said, shut up, out of the blue. Oh, this is why I remember the sequence of events. Shut up. She grabbed the bag, and gave it to him. And this is in front of customer, in front of Cheryl, and there was other customers in the building. I said, excuse me. I said, I was like, this is what I remember as in the sequence as much as possible. It just happened maybe an hour and a half ago. I said, Phyllis, can you not tell me to shut up in front of the customer, or just say shut up at all to me on the front line? And she kept saying shut up. And I said, and I was like, why are you saying shit? I said, can you not say shut up? And anyway, the customer tried to continue. He was asking me about Uber Eats, the customer that the bag was given to. He went on ahead and tried to speak about Uber Eats. And I said, one moment, sir. Then Phyllis was like, get off the clock. All right. She said, go ahead and get off the clock. I said, I'm assuming for a break. Okay, this is what I'm assuming. I said, you want me to get off the clock? I said, okay. I said, sir, she is the manager. She would have to explain to you about Uber Eats and the question and answer that question for you about Uber Eats. Then I got off the clock. I didn't grab anything at the moment. I just I had a cup. I got a cup for ice because I haven't eaten anything at Burger King in years. Imani and I, we pretty much prepare our own food unless we get packaged food at Whole Foods, but we've been doing this for a long time. I think the last time I ate at Burger King was in 2017. If I remember, maybe right at beginning of 2018. I'm just trying to remember. I started to really buy food, cook my own food, and also and then I started to go organic as much as possible. And so I used to just drink the orange juice, and then sometimes I would have sweet tea. But then I stopped drinking sweet tea. I don't buy sweet tea. I don't drink the orange juice. I stopped buying the orange juice at Burger King. So it's been years. So literally, I earn money. I go there to work at Burger King. I earn money. I brought orange juice maybe a month ago after the tornado. I think it was September the 2nd. There was a tornado because I thought it was odd. Some customers came into Whole Foods with orange juice from Burger King, and they were very, very loud. And I thought it was so odd because they had Burger King was closed because of the tornado. If I remember correctly, it was September the 2nd, 2021. Anyway, and I think so I think the tornado happened Wednesday. Burger King was closed Thursday. Okay, so wherever those days fall between September 1st and September the 2nd. So, and I didn't know the tornado. I didn't know Burger King was closed. I was on a schedule to work that Thursday. I didn't know, so I went to work at Burger King. Went to go work at Burger King Thursday, and the West Street was shut down, so no one can get through. And the police officer told me that Burger King was closed. Because that's how I knew that Burger King was closed. Because otherwise I didn't know, and there was no electricity. That's what I was told. So what I did was I went back. I left, and then I went to Whole Foods to sit down because I wasn't expecting. I didn't know if Burger King was going to be closed or not after the tornado the next day, but it was, and I was on a schedule. So I just went up there to see. And while I was at Whole Foods, as soon as I sat down, a group of black males, and maybe could be Hispanic. I don't know what she was, but black male, definitely black males. And they had on blue shirts. They came in very, very, talking very, very loud, and then they took out this orange juice that Burger King sells with a gray carton. And I thought it was odd, and I had took out my camera to start videotaping and documenting. And when I took out my camera, all of a sudden one of the black males grabbed the orange juice and the tray and threw it away quickly. I mean, as soon as it's like I got my camera, my video, my tablet out, and literally you would think the person was reading my mind. He ran it. He didn't even finish his orange juice. And then they got quiet. They stopped. They weren't talking loud at all. And they left. They actually left Whole Foods immediately. So I thought it was odd. So anyway, today, after she told me to shut up and told me to get off the clock, I just grabbed a cup of ice. This is Phyllis. And I walked outside in front of Burger King. I come back in, and when I came back in to grab my book bag that has my tablet, my things, so I'm still on break. All right, she didn't say go home. She said clock out like she usually does, but she didn't say clock out and go home. So I'm assuming I'm on break. And when I came back in to get my book bag and everything, she walked towards me in the kitchen and said, "You can go home." I said, "I can go home?" I said, "Why?" I said, and she said, you could go home. And she didn't tell me why. And I said, I kept asking her why. So I grabbed my tablet and I started videotaping. asking her why, because and she started saying you could put this you could write your notes down and put it on YouTube, okay? And to get out her face, I wasn't in her face. I was asking her. She didn't tell me why. I mean, once again, when she said clock out, I'm under the impression she mean go on break. Because on Saturdays when I work with her, unless it seems like we're really short, she usually tells me to go on break. So when she's been doing this for a while now, she has behaved like this irrationally before, but I didn't understand. Once again, out of the blue, she just said shut up. She didn't. I mean, it was, and I in front of the customers, like it was nothing. It's like I can tell you to shut up and you're not gonna do anything about it. You know, it's like when she curses on the front towards me, I'm gonna curse at you. You can do it. You cannot do anything about it. So but I did, you know, like many times I said, can you not tell me to shut up in front of the customers or on the front line? And so when I came back, once again, I asked her, I said, why do you want me to clock out? And she wouldn't tell me why. She didn't say why. I mean, why you want me to go home? She didn't say why. She didn't say she didn't need any help. And I said, can I have Janelle's number? Can I have Carl's number? She said, why do you need their number? And then it seemed like she just thought of something out of the blue. She said, I don't need your help. It's like but she didn't say that, and she knew. I mean, she didn't say go home when she told me to clock out. And I asked her politely, I said, can you not tell me to shut up in front of the customers or on the front line? She didn't say clock out and go home then. She just said clock out. So, like times before, when the managers have behaved in a manner and tell me to clock out, I knew I didn't do wrong. So I've learned, sometimes I say, you can clock me out. I'm not clocking out. I haven't done anything. But it's not like she did this, and I'm only giving what it seemed to be, like she did this connivingly. So she tells me to clock out. I'm under the assumption I'm going on break. I go out, walk in front of Burger King outside. I come back in to get my book bag, and then she comes back and while I'm getting my book bag so I can use my tablet and use the internet at Burger King on my break, she says, you can go home. So it looks like I clocked myself out in agreement to go home for no reason, and I did not. So I didn't. So once again, I asked why, and she couldn't. Then she finally said it. She said, I don't need any help. And then she got upset with me because she was still fussing, and she started cursing. This is how she acted on the day of the tornado. I can't say the curse word, but on the day of the tornado, what happened is we were they was go in the freezer, and I was right there at the freezer. A group of them was going in the freezer, and I stopped. I said, why do we need to go in the freezer? And Phil started fussing at me. She said, you don't have to go in the freezer today. Like that. It, just like the same energy she had today, that's how it was on the day of the tornado. And I just asked her a question. I said, why are we going in the freezer? Because I thought it was odd to go in the freezer when it's small. First of all, it's very small. If the tornado comes, there's boxes everywhere. You got frozen food. And then you had a group of us going, like heading that way. And so I went and found a place in the back where the door was open. I crouched down in a fetal position, and I covered my head. I was the only one that did that. I chose to do that. But she definitely was like, just like the same energy saying, yelling at me on the day of the tornado. And the tornado was really bad. So anyway, let me continue. So I just she said you could write it down and you could put it on YouTube, your little thing on YouTube. That's what she said. So the reason why I had grabbed my Moorish American Nation family, this is how I communicate to you, and this is how I communicate to my Moorish American Nation family, and I also said it to Sheikh Dwayne Buffalo Bay still. And so And not only that, it's through email as well. And I've been doing this for a while, and I think it's important to do so when you are in a city where you don't know anyone personally. Monty Gray-Bay and I, Ron and Arrington-Bey, we still don't know anyone personally here in Annapolis. But I started to notice a lot of odd behaviors going on in Annapolis, such as hearing feedback in our room. And so I start documenting because I know I have no reason to lie about harassment, some form of acts of terrorism. I have no reason to lie about it, and I'm mentally stable. That's why when I ask and speak to Phyllis or anybody at Burger King, I try to give them respect, because I'm trying to respect their constitutional rights as an employee at Burger King, and also respect what Burger King stands for. Burger King has an acronym: CARE. Connect, appreciate, respect everyone. So if the employees just follow those acronyms, that goes a long way. Connect, appreciate, respect everyone. So Phyllis, she telling me to shut up. I mean, like it was nothing. She said it several times, and then when I was questioning her with the camera on, she shut the HEL up. That's how she speaks. Have spoken to me many times. It's like she and then I hear her say the word brother in an odd way. She's not the only one. So Thomas is still saying the word Mo, and addressing customers, even though he told Carl that when I asked him not to say Mo to me, he told Carl he didn't say Mo. But he is still addressing customers and employees as Mo. And I had to correct him a while ago, because even after I spoke with him and Carl about him addressing me as Mo, he went and still tried to address me as Mo. And sometimes it sounds like he's trying to say, like he's trying to not say Mo completely. So you might think you hear Mo, but you don't hear Mo. You know how when someone is deliberately trying to confuse you and speaking a word low, where you think you hear something but you don't. But anyway, after the meeting, I guess you want to say, with Carl, he denied it, and I even brought back and said, yes, you did, because you kept saying Mo man, Mo man. You didn't tell me you didn't say Mo. You just went back and forth saying Mo, the word man, like you trying to identify somebody being a man, and then you said Mo. You kept trying to identify someone being a man. So he still addressed people as Mo, customers as Mo. I've never been anywhere where you in a establishment, a restaurant, a grocery store, and a cashier or manager say Mo. I've never been anywhere seen anything like this, and they don't know you. I mean, addressed the customers Mo. I'm gonna leave it at that. So I thought it was odd also today, as I was walking. Earlier this morning. Right now it's let me see what time it is. It's probably about 3 something. There was a black male in front of our window at American Extended Stay. Okay, it is. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, that's the time. It's 2:39. It's October 16th. And Monty started making noise in his sleep, and the black male had a cell phone close to our window talking. And I woke up because I was hearing Imani, my son, S-U-N, Imani Gray-Bay, who also has been naturalized to uphold the constitutional laws of freedom as a Moorish American. He was making noise in his sleep. So the black male was outside with I woke up and I hear the black male talking outside the window. And so because I've been recording odd feedback in the room, I grabbed my camera and also recording Imani making noise in his sleep. When I asked Imani, is he having a dream? Is he dreaming? He says no. Most of the time. Except last night he said he had a dream that he was working with his cards. But usually he say no, he's not dreaming. He's not having a dream. So it lets me know an unclean spirit is literally engaging, making him make noise, and he's not dreaming. So I videotaped. Then I looked closely, and the black male looked like a customer that comes into Burger King. I didn't, you know, I was like, this black male comes into Burger King. And I noticed there was bumping on the second floor. As I when I say mention how some of the people around American Extended Stay in Annapolis, Maryland, 120 Abercrombie Drive say Burger King, I always say I'm not accusing Burger King because I don't want to accuse Burger King because I don't know. But I thought, you know, all I could do is give testimony and see and try to connect dots as much as possible. As I was walking today to earn money at Burger King, these pale skins rode by doing like this, one laughing, you know, one, and then I said to myself, you know, they were looking at me. They drove by laughing and saying one, because I've heard feedback in the room of black male accents, Spanish-speaking accents saying one, like I've heard them say military or police, and I looked. Or they had drove by, and I thought, saying, look at those slaves, because when you are in a slave state of mind where you feel you have to harass someone and violate, that to me is a slave state of mind. You are violating someone's constitutional freedoms by harassing them. And I said, they obviously has never seen a free Moorish woman before. I thought, you know, I spoke my thoughts out loud out of irritation. But that was my thought, because I was like really irritated. And I'm not in their jurisdiction, because 9 times out of 10 they have no nationality. So I'm not in their jurisdiction. I'm under a naturalized jurisdiction, and so so for them to even engage with me, it doesn't make sense, because for instance, when I pursue a lawyer, I'm not going to get a lawyer who's not a Moor. I'm going to get a Moorish lawyer, a naturalized Moorish lawyer who understands Moorish law. I would never get a lawyer that is in the United States jurisdiction or corporation. Okay, and so that's the difference. So, okay, they're because it looks like it's about to rain, they're shutting down the tables. One moment, okay? So, I noticed that this morning as I was walking to earn money, and
I'm sorry.
You don't have to keep saying that. I'm leaving. Okay, thank you. Anyway, Spanish speaking from at Whole Foods. He keeps saying sorry, like something wrong with him. So when Phyllis told me to not to leave, it cut my hours. I noticed an American Extended Stay, because I've been trying to save money as much as possible. I've heard them say cut her hours or so forth, like a humanoid robot, like they're trying to keep me like they're watching my finances and how much money I make or how much money I'm saving. So today, when she just told me out of the blue, she didn't say anybody want to go home. You know, she just said get off the clock, and I'm thinking I'm going on break. And then afterwards, she tells me don't come back on the clock. You know, so she told me to go home. So this is another thing I noticed as well. And the word brother, I love you, she love your son, is still being spoke of at American Extended Stay. So what I've been doing is videotaping the odd feedback and what's going on at American Extended Stay, because it's easy to say things. It's good to document. Documentation does work, but it's also best to have as much proof as possible, because what those rely on is violating your constitutional rights without, and you get so used to them violating your constitutional rights that you don't try to uphold your constitutional rights anymore. So what does that make you? That makes you become what? A slave. or someone in bondage. They subjugated you. So, and it's interesting to that I give testimony. A lot of the accents are African American, male and female accents, and we know it's the African American history. Those that they believe that they don't. A lot of them might not speak about Moors or being here already. They say that they came over here. A lot of them came over here from Africa. Okay, 400 years, 500 years ago. Okay, and how they want reparations. They want reparations for the free work and slavery that their ancestors experienced. So it's interesting to hear African American male and female accents around the room speak about how they paid, or even when I'm out, the male and females, well dressed, driving cars, will look in my direction and say, "We paid, I paid," and look at me, and definitely a strong imply, like they're trying to imply that they paid for somebody. So, because at Annapolis, they have a slave port. Let me finish this thought before I get off subject. So, they have a slave port. The guy, listen here. I just remembered this thought. I'm experiencing a thought. Alex Haley came to Annapolis to find his ancestral background. That he's the one that created Roots. Roots is a story about slavery and how they would say millions of slaves came from Africa to the Americas. And so many African Americans have used this history to say that they deserve reparations. They deserve reparations because still to this day, they experience inequality. They experience discrimination. Still to this day, they are being brutalized by the police. They are being subjugated. There's so much that African Americans, male and females, speak about in reference to deserving reparations. So to be in Annapolis and see African American males and females say we paid, or I paid, the number 3. They say this, the number 3, 33, and then look at my way or imply such things. It's really interesting. Like I said, and then possibly my tablet might start freezing up, or or I feel my genitals spiritually being attacked. My genitals are attacked as a Moorish woman. My dreams are invaded. Hearing them say, brother, love you. So I'm experiencing 4 sharp pains. And here African American female accents say how, simultaneously as I am experiencing 4 sharp pains in my cranium, in my genitals, my legs, my organs. And so it's really, so it makes me wonder, because once again, the slave port in Annapolis is only about 15 minutes away from Whole Foods, right where I'm at now. They have a statue up in reference to Alex Haley. I remember the Moors that I learned from spoke about when Alex Haley was looking for his line, and he came to Annapolis, Maryland. He could not find anybody in the clerks, in the circuit clerk or the courthouse. They didn't have his people or his ancestors listed with people. They had his people under chattel property, like a cow, a dog, a horse, they had them listed under animals, under the place. He had to go to where they list the animals for property to see his bloodline. So this is true as far as what I know. So I find it interesting to be here in Annapolis, where the United States Navy, the Army, these are military forces that's supposed to have affirmed to uphold or taken an oath constitutional laws of freedom, which includes the 13th Amendment with 20 sections. A lot of black males and females are in the military. Hispanics, I've seen Asians, and pale skins are in the military in Annapolis. And yet in this city, I have experienced males and females, predominantly African American in term, looking my way or having an accent around or in the room saying I paid. And I experienced dis-ease, or my son is being attacked in his sleep. My son, Imani Bey, who works doubles a lot of times at Wendy's, is being attacked in his sleep. So not only that, Annapolis, according to word of mouth from those that are from Annapolis, have a high rate of venereal diseases. And disease. So to experience such forms of disease and spiritual attacks, where it can be considered spiritual and mental sex trafficking. Okay, sex trafficking. It is really interesting to connect these dots, because when you're dealing with sex trafficking, all right, I'm gonna continue with this, and you are among a technology, or those that have the technology to attack your mind, to invade your mental space, but with little proof, it's hard. Well, with what I want to say, it's hard to prove, because you think of telepathy, thoughts you don't see. But there has been many books written about it. Okay? Many books written about it. So if a person is able to invade, I'm taking it there on a spiritual level now. So I'm just went from the physical, now I'm going to the spiritual. If a person is able to invade your mental space, to cause you to feel dis-ease, to send a heat sensation to your body, to cause a forced sharp pain, and then or molest you in your sleep. Okay, molest you in your sleep without your consent. And if they do it enough, where you feel like you have no help, you feel helpless, hopeless, you don't know what to do, what that outside force has done is subjugated you into a form of sex trafficking on a spiritual and mental level. And then, out of shame, a woman or male may just literally stop speaking about it. Maybe they'll talk about it first, but then they'll stop talking about it because they're so ashamed and nobody's trying to help them. So, because that which has done it has relied on the repeated attacks spiritually and mentally, and hoping to subjugate and cause someone to eventually give in, where they can continue, where they will be able to use that person the way they want. So when I see these videos of illegal immigrants coming to this landmass in sex trafficking rings, I think on a spiritual level first, sex trafficking can be spiritual and mental first, and there is money to be made if you sex traffic spiritual and mental first, and then physical. So to have Negroes or black African Americans speak about how they paid for someone in a time where you still see them marching, saying, you know, especially when an African American male or female is being abused, but yet, and they are saying this is not right. You know, this was unjust. Black people have been brutalized for years and years and years. And to come into a place where, okay, here's the military where it's prevalent, and yet you have African American, black, Negro males and females behaving in a manner that is questionable is interesting. So once again, I'm going to end that thought. Okay, that's it. And as I was saying that, I just had experienced another thought. Someone said no peace. Mentally, because I experienced different thoughts. And I know my thoughts. So when I say I experience thoughts, I experience thoughts. Said no peace. I even on the physical plane, I've heard black Negro females and males say no peace. Now, to see a black Negro female, male say no peace, as if they have power. As if they have power. Okay, they have to do what they are told. They get programs, downloads. These are those that are in bondage mentally. Like they actually would have some power to overthrow that which controls them. It is really funny.